It's time to make our Ultra Giga Fun memes no longer be dreams with Merithra Starship Shaman. The idea behind this deck is we are going to be trying to slam down an Ultragigasaur that we'll be eating with the Ooze. Then we'll be using Numbundu as a way to duplicate the Ooze's bone spell. Slam both of these on Alakir to slam into our opponent's face for a huge amount of damage. All right, now for the Mulligan guide. First thing to watch out for is going to be triangulate. If you see Lightning Storm in a aggro matchup such as Quest Paladin, you will always choose that. However, if you see Hex versus something like Protoss Priest, that will be your choice there. Outside of this, you're going to be looking for any of the other Starship cards, draw power cards, or early game minions. Now, with that being said, let's look at some games. Okay, Warlock. Let's see what they got for us. I'm assuming it's going to be the Agamaggan list, because I think that's the one that's floating around the most right now. Also, the deck I said this in the last video, I'm pretty sure. I'm really considering that as my like ladder climbing deck for next format. Unless it gets nerfed by August, I guess. Okay. Yes, Sarah. Oh, double Ysera could actually be kind of fun with this combo deck. Just because like getting up to 20 mana could be a little bit more useful. Okay, let's grab Hexes. I don't think they will run too many minions, but a lot of their minions are big, so Hex can actually come up pretty easily in this matchup. Okay, slam this down, draw another card. Draw a few more. Yeah, the nice thing about the Starship package, as much as I hate on the fact that it basically makes a lot of the decks feel the same and the same that they've been for the last 6 months. If you're playing a slower deck or trying to make a slower combo deck, the Starship cards are pretty nice in order to like allow you to survive into the late game. Which, if you saw my initial like day one video on when I included this felt or looks completely different than our initial version just because I needed additional survivability. There was no way I was surviving into the late game with that version. Dungard was just a little bit too slow, and then Murmur got nerfed, so I just scrapped that completely. The sad thing is, I don't think Murmur right now, like, I get why they nerfed it, right? The whole reason they nerfed Murmur is, like, technically speaking, right now, he's not a problem, but it does prevent them from printing cool and interesting battle cries for Shaman. And honestly, probably is a card that should have never been printed. It's very similar to the Kelthus cards, both of which I think got or kept their nerfs once they went into Wild. I could be wrong about that. I haven't actually looked at Wild in a while. But like, there's some cards that like just by looking at them, you know, eventually they're going to be changed. Dorian is also one of those cards. It's amazing to me that Dorian, like, I know he got buffed or nerfed to being a 5-mana card to not be able to be dragged out with Oaken summons. But like, technically speaking, that really didn't do much. But like, there hasn't been any good combo enablers for him in standard. Trust me, I've tried. There's been a lot of different decks that I've tried with that card. It just was only a matter of time before it got nerfed, right? There's Shutterblock. And then next turn we can, maybe not next turn, 2 turns from now we can triple Battlecry Ysera, which is funny. Like, we don't need to do that, but it could be really, really funny. Okay. I mean, sure, I guess. Draw 2. I mean, to be fair, they don't have that many minions in their deck, so that's probably a safe bet for them. We could also use Jim next turn. The thing with Jim is he will give us a decent amount of armor, which can put us out of range of like a Farok play or the big Agamaggan turn. But yeah, I do find it interesting that Honestly speaking, I think this Warlock list was probably decent even before the balancing changes. It's just the game got a little bit slower, so you would be able to easily do this because it has a lot of AoE, right? AoE is like the key versus what was like really popular, which was like Quest Paladin. To be fair, Low Druid also did exist, but like it had all the AoE that you needed against all the aggro menagerie lists floating around too. Also, it is interesting that most of the menagerie lists just went bye-bye, and like we have not heard a ounce from them ever since the balancing patch. But honestly, one of my biggest complaints of the last meta, same reason why I don't like the starships, really. I know that's a little bit hypocritical for me to say that while playing a starship deck, but like starships are cool in theory. My problem is the starship decks that get a lot of play are the ones that play exactly the same compared to the other starships, right? Like, I don't really have a problem with Starship Rogue or Hunter because those play different than the ones that, like, Demon Hunter, which is just armor, Shaman, which is kind of just armor, and Warrior, which is also armor. I feel like there's another Starship class that is probably crying in a corner that I can't remember what it is right now. Oh, Paladin. Paladin doesn't exist. Paladin isn't a real starship class. I'm sorry. I've tried multiple times to make it work. It just does not feel good. It doesn't have any, like, I think it would be fine if we still had some of the resurrection tools that Paladin did before rotation, but it doesn't, so it just feels really, really bad right now. Like, unlike any other class that has starships, right? Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull the full combo off. I would love to top deck Alakir here. However, if they leave any minion up, we might just slam down Bones and then, okay, Agamaggan into Agamaggan. Into Agamaggan. And they're one off the game. Come on, don't do enough damage to hit face. Okay, we got a little bit more armor. Yes, keep going face. Keep going face with that one minion that you got. Perfect. Yes. Let's go. Now it's time for you to shudder because you are boned. Behold, our giant ooze with the ooze-tastic combo. Okay, Mage. I'd assume Quest, but it could be. What other Mage lists are floating around now? Also, the other Mage Legendary besides the Quest is a card that I really want to use on a thumbnail. I just don't see a possible combo with the card is the problem. And because of that, it's just if it was a Discover a ability, like a Titan ability, I think that would actually kind of fix the card. I know it can't be Discover a Titan because of the quest, right? That would actually straight up break the card, but I think you could easily make the ability Discover a Titan ability. I think that would be perfectly fine, right? It would actually probably backfire a few times with quests too. Maybe that would also require them to like put costs on. No, it wouldn't. Oh, it's Imbue. Interesting. That's not what I expected to see here. When was the last time I faced Imbue or Mage? I'm assuming it's probably Imbue Protoss then? Because I think Protoss Mage still sees a little bit of play. Oh, you know what's a deck that I've said multiple times that I'd be a little bit interested in and then I never did anything with it? Elemental Mage. Elemental Mage could be interesting. I don't know if we'll do it. I don't know. I think we might be a little bit overdue to do like a more aggro-based deck. I know I usually don't try to do those decks. The A don't do well, and B I play them completely terribly. But I don't know, that could be something cool that we could maybe try. I don't think I've seen anyone talk about Elemental Mage really. Yeah, I don't think I've had a single like aggro deck since the set came out. They've all been controller combos. I guess no. Closest would have been probably Quest Warlock. how I built it was more of a control style anyways. Alright, let's just slam this down. Get rid of 2 of the minions. Might as well just keep putting a little bit of pressure. Okay. I was really kind of hoping that... I was really kind of hoping that they were going to be able to hit the missile here. I don't think that's necessarily needed. I'm going to launch this, and then we're just going to go face. Because it gets rid of everything on the board, and then... Oh, perfect heal. Oh, that feels nice. Okay, Seabreeze Chalice. Drawing our card. There's Ooze. That's good for our combo. You know, this deck actually can get to the... Maybe we should have fit a tourist package in. If we could have actually fit, like, maybe the hunter tourist in with, like, bird watching, maybe we'd be in a better position. I think I'd have to, like, redesign the deck, and I just did not feel like redesigning it this late into testing. I mean, we can AoE. So it is actually... Okay, that's fine. I mean, as long as we can keep ourselves alive through a Colossus, I think we're fine. Okay, more Starship cards. But yeah, maybe slamming in bird watching and some other stuff would have maybe helped a little bit with when it comes to consistency of getting each of the combo pieces, because right now I have pretty decent consistently getting to like any of the spells in the deck, but I just don't have consistent access to like I mean technically I do with like Ooze and such because of Fairy Tale Forest, but I don't know. I think we could have probably got away with not using the 1-drop from the Terran package. That would have opened up 2 cards, and then we would have had to find one more space, which probably would have actually been Merithra. Throughout the 30 games, or 30-ish games that I've been playing, I don't think we've actually had Merithra come up once. I think, actually thinking about it, that would probably be the better way. We could also, like, not use Namundu and just use Crazed Alchemist instead. Same purpose. But, I have a signature version of him, so I use any excuse to use him. Funnily enough, like, if they can destroy enough minions, we can actually do the combo with, like, Ceaseless instead of our stereotypical thing that we would want to do. Because Ceaseless is still, like, a 10-10, right? So it's 20 worth of stats there. Okay, let's just slam down Jim. Heal us up a little bit more. Go face. This is the one matchup where I'm assuming our opponent will still try to win even if they are seeing like a huge wall of starships. Because, to be fair, they have Colossus, right? Colossus just gets rid of this board. It's a lot of starships, though. I guess we could have Hero Power just to buff them up a little bit more, but that's okay. There we go, Colossus. That's what I figured. They can't win the game from that one solo Colossi. However, I think we can win next turn. No, Mundu would be cool. Ultragigasaur. Oh. Do I survive or try to survive one additional turn? I mean, we could probably get away with it. I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to risk it. It would have been cool to pull off the full combo, but it wouldn't have been needed. This is decent enough. GG. Okay, Hunter. Let's see what they have in store for us. Hunter, there's a few Hunter lists floating around. Weirdly enough, the Quest is actually probably the worst out of the bunch, but it did get a lot better after the bouncing changes. Discover actually kind of fixes some of the issues. Okay. But it could also be token. It could be a few other things. Ultragigasaur also is kind of just funny to have in the hand. I wish actually kind of Dirty Rat was more common right now, because just having an Ultragigasaur in your hand and then your opponent like slam down a Dirty Rat and being like, oh, a 28 HP minion, what am I going to do? Would be really, really funny. Okay, let's slam this down. Okay, let's slam this down. Get rid of all the minions. Basically, the idea here is like we just want to force them to not have any minions on board. I think Lightning Storm is going to be good to just copy over and over again. Let's slam this down. We got the Lightning Storm to get rid of it. Also, it is token. I should have said that a little bit ago, but, you know, kind of obvious at this point. It is actually kind of the Hunter deck that is floating around the most. I'm trying to come up with a bunch of decks with classes that I haven't done anything with yet. I'm thinking after this one, we might do a Paladin list. I was trying Libram, but I don't know. That deck just feels like it's missing something, and it probably will never get it. If we had Instrument Tech, I think actually that deck would be fine, but sadly we don't right now. So it is what it is. Because Ido would have been really fun to mess around with in that list. But we might also do like Pipsy. I've been thinking or trying to come up with something with Pipsy that could be interesting. I don't know. I have a few ideas that I want to do stuff with, but I just haven't gotten around to playtesting anything. I will say Druid I have... Okay, Druid I don't really have any ideas for. DK, there's a few ideas. Maybe like some type of twist on the quest, since you can now do Rainbow. Sadly, we don't have Climactic Necrotic Explosion. I also really want to do a few... There's a few lists in Warrior in particular I really want to do something with. I want to do something with Nebula or Nibula, the other legendary besides the quest from this new set, because I think that could be cool. Trying to relive the old glories of Charge Warrior. I don't know how strong that would feel, but I think that would be really kind of cool, right? I also really kind of want to do something with like Story of, not Sargeras, but Sulphurus. There's too many is with the S name in this game, but that could be cool. Like, in theory, you can do 32 points of damage in a single turn to your opponent's face with a combo in there. I just need to figure out what the perfect home for that is. I think the perfect home would be any deck that we can gain a bunch of armor and, like, just survive into the late game, which I think would be another Starship list. And I kind of don't want to put out 3 Starship lists back to back, so maybe we won't do that for now. I'll keep it on the back burner. That seems like a cool idea to do. Story of Sulphurus seems like a fun, goofy little card to try to make use of. Maybe, I don't know. There's other things that we could try out too. There's a lot of ideas I have for a few classes. Shaman, I have a few other ideas that I want to work out too. Like Mill Shaman, that could be cool at some point. There definitely are classes in this set that I just do not care about for the most part. Ironically, those classes tend to be the same classes every single set. So, Paladin is like the big number one. Weirdly, DK kind of swaps between being a class that I'm really interested in every set and not. But yeah, Paladin, Druid, Mage tend to be the three that I have the least amount of ideas for, generally speaking. Actually, I've had pretty good ideas for Druid in the past. I think Hunter would actually technically be the third class if I had to choose three classes that I play the least. Oh no, it's Demon Hunter. It definitely is Demon Hunter. I have a few ideas there too. I just, again, need to sit down and actually try to make them work, right? Actually, the Demon Hunter list that I have an idea for is a Call for Arrow list. I haven't done anything with Call for Arrow in a while. That could be cool. I don't know what the target would be, but there is a way to, like, force the card back to the top of your deck in that class, so that's the idea, at least. I guess you could do the same thing with Call for Arrow Priest, as long as it's a higher than an 8-cost card. Again, I don't know what the higher cost card that you would want to duplicate in that deck is, but there could be something, right? No, it's probably Briar Spawn Drake in both scenarios, actually. All right, now we're through the games. Let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So I played 30 games with the deck, ended up with a 36% win rate, which honestly isn't the best in the world, but is better than I originally expected for a deck like this. Honestly speaking, a lot of the legendaries in this list could easily be cut. Merithra wasn't needed at all. Nambundu was actually a little bit more important. However, you could easily replace him with a Crazed Alchemist instead, since it does a very similar role. Overall, if you've been wanting to do something with Ultragigasaur, this is probably one of the better standard Hearthstone decks you can with the card. But honestly speaking, outside of memes, maybe pass out on this. I'm just trying to meme around a little bit to distract people the horrible state standard is in right now. Overall, though, let me know down below what else you would like to see. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.